Hi everybody, welcome to Asana. Thank you for joining us today. Let's start seated on our mats today in any comfortable position that you feel good in. Seat. So you can be on your knees, or you can have your legs crossed. Maybe you want your soles of your feet together with the knees just falling lightly towards the mat. Just take whatever position you feel good in right now. And I want you to close your eyes and start focusing on your breath. And for the rest of practice, inhale and exhale through your nose only. Of course, you can always take a breath through your mouth if you need to, but let's try to really focus the breath and use the breath in our practice. And whenever you feel yourself in an area of tension or a distraction, just return to the breath. And now maybe set an intention for your practice. It can be big, it can be small, it can be about something other than the practice. Just go with your gut and let yourself hold on to that thought, that feeling, that intention. And then I want you to lift your arms overhead on your next inhale. And just feel the energetic line of movement from your hips to your fingertips as you breathe, holding your arms overhead. And on your next exhale, wrap your arms around yourself, grabbing for the opposite shoulder, giving yourself a little hug, tuck your chin, and really just embrace yourself here. Then inhale, open your arms, bring them overhead, keeping your eyes closed. Maybe slightly looking up with the eyes closed. And then exhale, tucking your chin as you give yourself another hug. Continue to breathe here. On your next inhale, bring your arms overhead. Slightly look up with your head, keeping your eyes closed. And on your exhale, tuck your chin, give yourself a hug. And release your arms. Bring your hands on top of your legs. Open your eyes. Look forward. And then turn to face the top of your mat, coming into hands and knees. Let's take some cat-cows, but take them with movement here. So inhale, as you drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your hips. And then kind of moving sideways as you go through your cat, rounding your spine, sending your hips to the right, and then back, and then hips go to the left. As you come back into your cow, belly drops, gaze lifts, send your hips to the right as you round your spine into cat, keep the breath moving, send your hips to the left, find your cow, drop your belly, hips go to the right, exhale for your cat as your spine rounds, and just kind of find your own rhythm doing this. Moving your hips in circular movements while extending and flexing your spine. And then switching directions, start rotating those hips the other way, making little circles with your hips, keeping that spinal movement going. Take a couple more. and then come to neutral. Lift your right arm to the sky, opening your torso to the right, and then thread that right arm underneath the left arm, sliding it out on the mat, bringing your right ear down to the mat. Keep those hips lifted. Find that threaded needle. You can keep your left hand pressing into the mat, or you can walk it out in front of you towards the front of the mat. Just breathe, enjoying this twist. Then walk your left hand back, pressing it into the mat so you can lift your right ear, lift your right shoulder, and bring that right hand back onto the mat. Inhale, lift your left arm to the sky, opening your torso, and then exhale as you thread that left hand underneath the right arm, letting it slide to the right side of the room, bringing the left ear, the left shoulder down to the mat, hips stay lifted, threading our needle. Keeping your right hand pressing into the mat or walking it forward towards the short edge of the mat out in front. Continue to breathe. Continue to find length in your twist. Find space. Slowly walk your right hand back if you've extended it, and push your right hand into the mat to unthread your needle and bring the left hand back into tabletop position. Good. Then start to walk your hands forward on the mat, keeping your hips lifted, coming into puppy pose. So when your arms can't walk forward anymore, you lower your elbows onto the mat, bring your forehead down. Try to get your chest close to the mat. Maybe you can bring your chin down to the mat so that your chest gets even closer. Just take a few breaths here. Breathe into this back extension, this back bend. Then slowly start to push the mat away with your forehead first so you can lift your elbows. Then pushing into the mat with your hands, lift your forehead up. Walk your hands back slightly and then move your hips forward and down onto the mat. Lower your elbows down onto the mat so that they come right underneath your shoulders for Sphinx Pose. Finding a back bend again. Gaze is forward. Push the mat away with your forearms so that you can really relax those shoulders down. Keep breathing. Then start to lift your elbows up, staying exactly where you are. Lift those elbows up a little bit so that you can find more extension in your spine. If this causes you to lift up your shoulders and hunch them, then relax back into Sphinx or just find a gentler variation of Seal. You don't want any shoulder hunching here. Couple more breaths. All right, now lower your elbows to the mat. Start to lift your hips up. Walk your hands back and then send your hips back onto your heels, coming into child's pose. Forehead comes down to the mat. Take a rest. On your next inhale, come up into tabletop position. Tuck your toes under. Make sure you've got hips width distance between your feet and your knees. And then lift up your kneecaps and send your hips up and back, coming into our first down dog. Walk your dog, bend one knee at a time. Find some length in your hamstrings. Then inhale as you move forward into plank pose. Hold your plank. Start to generate some heat here. Feeling strong, using our cores.
Then move your hips up and back, coming into down dog once more. Bend both knees this time and really start to lift that tailbone up really high. So you can push your chest closer to your thighs, getting really long extension in the spine here. And with that shape in your spine, start to lower the heels down towards the mat. They don't have to go all the way, just that's the intention of the heels going in that direction. Good, inhale, move forward to plank. Hold your plank. Use your strength. You can lower down to your knees here if you wish. Push the mat away so that you can find your strong core. Pull your tummy in. And on your next exhale, hips go back and up, down dog. Keep breathing. Continue to flow that breath. On your next inhale, move forward into plank pose. Hold your plank. Breathe. Staying strong, staying long, pushing the mat away. And then hips go up and back, down dog. Building strength here. One more time, just one last time, we're going to do that same movement, moving forward to plank, holding our plank, feeling strong. And then exhaling, coming back to down dog. Lifting those hips nice and high. Getting length in our spines. Bend your knees, look forward. Gently step your feet to the top of the mat in between your hands and fold forward. Allow yourself to keep a slight bend in your knees here. Grab for opposite elbows and just hang out in your forward fold. Maybe allow yourself to kind of flow from side to side. Just find a little bit of a swing. Nothing too momentous, just a little slight movement to loosen you up. Then release your hands down to the mat and slowly, keeping your knees bent, roll yourself up to standing. Head is the last thing to lift. Arms come down by your sides for Tadasana. Good. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge as you fold forward, bring your hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, step your feet to the back of the mat, plank pose. Hold on your inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hips go up and back, coming into your down dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and gently step to the top of the mat in between your hands for forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back as your arms come overhead. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Stand in Tadasana and just wrap your shoulders with your hands. On your next inhale, open your arms out to a T and then switch direction. Switch which arm is on top and give yourself another hug. Good. Inhale, open your arms to a T. Exhale, swing your right arm under your left, crossing at the elbows. Bring the fronts of the hands together or cross one more time at your wrists for eagle arms. Sit down into your chair pose. Shift your weight into your left leg as you lift your right leg up and cross it over your left, maybe also crossing your right ankle behind your left calf. Finding eagle chair, Garudasana. Lift your rib cage as you really kind of pull the rib cage in and find that length so that you can engage your core, pointing your tailbone towards the mat. Keep breathing in balance here. You've got this. On your next inhale, uncross your right leg. Don't set it down. Instead, shoot it to the back of the mat, coming into Crescent Lunge, keeping your arms as they are. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. On your next inhale,
Open your arms up, untwisting them, bringing them overhead. And then exhale, goalpost or cactus your arms. So the upper arms come parallel to the mat and the forearms are perpendicular. Stay here, but open your heart up towards the ceiling and look up. Find a back bend. Good. On your next inhale, bring your torso up and then wrap your arms around yourself, giving yourself a hug. Then bow forward, bringing that torso to the inside of your left leg. For humble warrior, with our arms embracing ourselves. And come back up. Open your arms up to the sky and then open out to warrior two, releasing that right heel onto the mat. Back foot is parallel to the mat and your arms are open in a T. Flip your left palm up, release your right hand onto your right thigh as you lift your left arm overhead for reverse warrior. Good. Come back up to warrior two, arms come to a T, torso lifts, straighten the left leg. Slightly shift your hips back while reaching forward with your left fingertips. When you can't reach any further, release your left hand onto your left shin, release the right arm towards the ceiling for triangle pose, Asana. You can look down at the floor or at the side of the room, or if you have it in your practice, you could try to look up at that right thumb. Now bend your right elbow and bring the top of the right hand behind your back. Then see if you can scoot it a little further so you can wrap your hand around the outside of your left hip. Keep your chest open here. Finding a little bind, half bind. Then start to bend your left knee and bring your left elbow on top of your left knee. So you're in extended side angle, but you've got your right arm behind your back, and maybe you can grab the top of your left thigh with the right hand. Again, keep your chest open, keep your heart lifted. If you want to take a full bind here, feel welcome to. You can bring that left arm to the inside of your left leg, wrap it underneath, and then join it together with your right hand behind your back. Just an option. Release the bind. If you have it, keep the half bind, keep the right hand behind your back. Place your left hand down on the mat in front of your left foot. Start to walk your back foot in a little bit, and now shift all of your weight into your left foot as you raise that right leg up off the mat, bringing it parallel, lifting it, coming into half moon. You can keep a bend in your left leg. Your left leg. Find your balance. Left hand is on the mat. Maybe it's just the left fingertips. If you want to play around with balance, you can try lifting that left arm up, bringing it parallel to the mat. Bring the left hand back down. Unbind that right arm from behind you, bringing it overhead. Then bring the right hand down to the mat, squaring off your hips. Keep the right leg lifted. Inhale and exhale. Standing splits. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend your left leg as you step the right foot to the back of the mat. Then step your left foot back to meet it. High plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips shoot up and back. Down dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, step or gently hop to the front of the mat for your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back as your arms come overhead. Exhale, bring your arms wide, and then give yourself a hug. So good. Inhale, open your arms to a T. Cross directions, other arm on top, give yourself a hug. Inhale, open your arms to a T. Exhale, swing your arms down. This time, left arm comes under right. Bend at the elbows, fronts of hands come together, or you cross one more time at the wrists, finding eagle arms. On your exhale, sit down into chair pose. Shift your weight this time into the right leg as you lift the left leg up and cross it over the right, keeping the knees bent, maybe wrapping that left foot behind the right calf. Find your balance. Use your core, wrap the ribs in. Maybe sink a little deeper. Keeping the heart lifted, just bending the knees and bringing those hips down a little lower. All right, on your next inhale, start to uncross your legs. Don't set your left leg down. Instead, shoot it to the back of the mat, landing on the ball of your foot. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight, crescent with eagle arms. On your next inhale, open your arms up, uncrossing them, bringing them towards the sky. And exhale, cactus or goalpost your arms and start to find a back bend, looking up. Take another breath. Then lift your torso up and wrap your arms around yourself, giving yourself a hug. Inhale. And exhale, bow forward, finding your humble crescent, bringing your torso down to the inside of your right thigh. Inhale as you lift your torso up. Open your arms up to the ceiling, and then open out to the left, bringing the left heel down to the mat. Arms come to a T, warrior two. Check for your heel to arch alignment. Then flip the right palm up. Release the left hand onto the left thigh as you reach the right arm up overhead. Find a back bend in reverse warrior. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. All right, come back up into warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Push your hips back a little bit. Start to reach forward to the front of the room with those right fingertips, and when you can't reach any longer, you release the right hand to your shin, left arm to the ceiling. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Open your heart here, open your chest. One long line from left fingertips to right fingertips. Then start to bend your elbow, bringing the top of your hand to your back. Maybe wrapping it further and grabbing the top edge of your right thigh or the outer right hip with your left fingertips. Keep the heart open when you find this half bind. All right, exhale as you bend your right knee, bring your right elbow on top of that right knee for extended side angle. Again, keep the heart open, find that length here. If you want to find the full wrap, you can start to bring that right hand in front of the right thigh, then wrapping it under and behind, and then clasp the hands together behind the back or behind the right hip. All right, release the full bind, keep the half bind. Bring the right hand down to the mat in front of your right foot. Step the back foot in a little bit. Looking down at your right hand, shift your weight into your right foot. As you lift your left foot up off the mat, bring the left leg parallel, coming into half moon with a half bind. Straighten that right leg if you can. You can keep a bend in the knee if you need it for balance or to be able to get that right hand on the mat. Flexing the left foot, left kneecaps pointing out towards the left side of the room. If you want to play around with balance, you can try lifting the right arm up off the mat. All right, then bring the left hand down to the mat. Square off your hips for standing splits. Left leg is still lifted. It's just your hips are square
You're trying to find balance on one leg. Both of your fingertips are on the mat. Then put a bend in your right knee as you step the left foot to the back of the mat. Finding that low crescent lunge, step your right foot to the back of the mat to meet the left foot. Chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, shift your hips up and back as you find down dog. On your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or gently hop to the top of the mat and take your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back as your arms come overhead. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. So good. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step your feet to the back of the mat. Find plank. Lower your knees to the mat. Sit your hips down into child's pose. Push into the mat to lift your hips and then bring them all the way down to the mat, sliding your feet out behind you. Bring your head down to the mat. Arms come by your sides. Reach them towards your feet. Kick both feet in towards your hips and then grab the ankles or the tops of the feet with your hands. On your inhale, I want you to lift everything up, kicking your feet into your hands. So inhale, head, heart, shoulders lift, feet, kneecaps lift, thighs lift, come up high. Keep breathing as you stay here in your bow pose. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and lower down. Good job, everybody. Release the feet. Release the hands next to your chest. Push the mat away as you lift your shoulders, lift your torso, and send your hips down onto your heels, taking child's pose once more. Inhale, move forward into tabletop. Cross your feet behind you. And then sit your hips down behind your crossed feet, coming into a simple cross-legged position. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Exhale, twist your torso to the right, bringing your left hand to the top of your right knee. Right arm comes behind your body, find a twist. Keep breathing. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. Release the right hand onto the top of the left knee. Left hand comes behind your back, pressing onto the mat near the base of your spine. Twisting your torso. Keep breathing. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Extend your legs out in front of you. Lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold forward. Paschimottanasana. Maybe walk your hands out beside the outsides of your legs, just lengthening a little bit further and further. Maybe bring your hands to your feet or under your feet. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, release your hands from where they are. Start walking them back towards your midline so you can lift your torso. Roll your back down onto the mat. Extend your arms overhead. Give yourself a big stretch. Walk your hands and your feet to the right, keeping the backside body on the mat, finding this banana shape. So hips are to the left and feet and legs are to the right. Come back to center. Walk your feet and your legs and your hands to the left, hips stay to the right, backside body is still on the mat. That's a banana stretch. Come back to center. Open your arms out wide, keeping them lifted above your head, but the backs of the arms come onto the mat. So you're in kind of a star position. It's like they're shooting to the outside edges of your mat diagonally. Then do the same with your legs. Your legs shoot out diagonally to the outer edges of your mat. So you're in a nice star-shaped Shavasana position. Close your eyes and start to melt your shoulder blades down. Relax your breathing patterns. Relax everything and let it go. If for any reason it's uncomfortable for you to stay in this star-shaped Shavasana, you can move into regular Shavasana with your arms by your side. Otherwise, just start to relax, let go, and just find some peace and tranquility in your final resting pose, Shavasana. And very slowly begin to come back into the room, into the space. Find the awareness in your body. Bend your elbows and bring your palms in towards your chest. Then continue moving them inward until you can cross your arms and bring your hands to opposite shoulder, giving yourself another hug. Bend your knees. Either rolling to the side or reaching forward and rocking up. Find yourself to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, wrap your arms around your shoulders. Give yourself another big hug. Tuck your chin and hold yourself. Release your hands. Thank you for practicing with us today. Namaste.